It's Friday, which means it's time for another episode of the Ask Me Anything series. If you want to go ahead and be featured in this series, all you have to do is leave a comment below, and I'll gladly feature you in next week's episode. I release these videos every Friday at around 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. First question of the day from Max is a Nerd: is 92 overall a fair rating for Kyrou Kaprizov? Personally, I think that's a pretty fair rating. Kyrou Kaprizov is a very sick player, he's very fun to watch, and he has a ton of skill. Personally, I love watching him play and all the things that he brings to the ice. It's really exciting every time that he steps onto the ice. Next question is, will Nicholas Backstrom play more? This one's kind of hard to judge because Nicholas Backstrom came back from having hip surgery last year, played out last season, and then decided that he couldn't do it this season, so he's out indefinitely right now. Having that hip surgery is a very serious thing, and I think that's something that's going to hinder him for the rest of his playing career if he does decide to come back. I think he maybe will come back for a couple of games, but I don't think he's going to last long if he does come back. That's a very bad injury to come back from, and I wish him all the best. Who's better for the Blues, Jordan Kyrou or Robert Thomas? Personally, I'm going to have to go Jordan Kyrou. I love watching his speed. He just flies up and down the ice, and he has a ton of skill. They're both really fun players to watch, but personally, I love watching Jordan Kyrou more, and he's a really fun card to play with in the NHL games. Will Ovechkin be good this year? Ovi's off to a bit more of a slower start than he has been in years past, and I think that's mainly because that the Capitals suck and they're very old. As much as I hate to say it as a Penguins fan, I really do want to see him hit the Gretzky goal record, and I think he's going to keep playing until he eventually does. No one else is probably going to come close to that. Maybe Austin Matthews later on in his career, but that would be a very long time from now, so it's a very exciting thing to watch, and I want to see him do it. Will the Boston Bruins make the playoffs this year? Personally, I think this one's a very easy yes. The Bruins are cooking this year, and they're absolutely doing amazing, even though they lost their top two centers. I don't know how they're doing it, to be honest. I thought they would have sucked this year. I haven't made a full video on that. You can go watch that if you want to go rip on me. But hey, they're doing pretty decent this year, and I think that they're going to make the playoffs pretty easily. Will the Wild make the third spot in the Central? The Minnesota Wild are off to a kind of disappointing start this year, but I do think they have time to turn it around. They have two very good goaltenders, it's just them needing to figure their whole team out a little bit. Personally, I want to see them figure it out a little bit. I want to see Marc-Andre Fleury go for one more cup. I would love for him to be able to lift Lord Stanley one more time. I think him doing that would kind of be the icing on the cake and be a perfect way for him to end off his career. Who will win the Central Division? I think that the Avalanche are going to win it, but the Dallas Stars are going to give them a good run for their money. Both teams are pretty good, it's just a matter of who comes out on top at the end of the season, but I do think it'll be Colorado. They have more experience, and they are a little bit younger than the Dallas Stars are. Will the Sharks break the worst record for a team? Personally, I don't think that they're going to be quite that bad. If you go back to some of the very old teams that happened, they were atrocious. Some of the early expansion teams were very bad, and I don't think the Sharks are going to come close to that. Even though it would be pretty funny to watch, so I kind of do hope that they do it. But they're already on a 2-game winning streak so far, and they just beat the Edmonton Oilers last night, so you never know.